No, I don't know. No, touched a bit of a nerve there. I think dads have had a rough deal, personally, in terms of the assumption that you're an absent father waiting to happen, is my experience. And certainly with my experience with things like the Child Support Agency is a real guilty until proven innocent. You know, they're expecting you to try and not pay, try and resist payment in any way, and the way that they come down on you as a so-called absent father, I found very, very difficult to deal with. A real sort of stonewall attitude towards fathers, even if you know the reason that you were an absent father was not your fault, or you know you tried to resist it. You were just sort of lumped in that sort of way as you know, the father wasn't there, you had to pay, and that was it. And some of the conversations I had with them were quite hurtful in terms of the way that their view, and that seems to be the official view that they represent. Their view of fathers is not very positive. I think it's not very positive. And I think we've had a raw deal. I do, over the last probably the last 20 years. I think.
Only as an afterthought. I try and carry him around like this as much as possible, and then we're both self-employed. So when Kelly's working and I look after him, and I go downtown on a weekday, you get like all the oohs and ahs. But there's been a couple of comments and about like, oh, it's, you know, it's out of the ordinary for me to be with my son during the week. People don't. It's still got that kind of myth, you know, that I should be the one at work, and if I'm looking after him, it's unusual circumstances. But for us, it's just how it is. So
I've never dressed in a Superman suit and hung off a bridge, but you know, I have sort of sympathised with those guys in you know, in a lot of ways. I've never had the misfortune to go through the family courts, but I've certainly had trouble getting access to my children, and had no support with that at all in the past. Although, as I say, they all, you know, the 21-year-olds left home, but they all live with me now. But that's, you know, it's been difficult at times. It's been difficult, and I think we get demonised a little bit.
A lot of the things that I always see as a young parent is focused around mums, and it is hard to see that, because I used to get like an email from a new parenting website, and it was constantly about mums, and I deliberately sent them an email saying, look, I'm not being funny, but it's not fair having to read this all the time. It makes you seem as though you're making the mum's role in the child's life more important than the dad, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be exactly the same, 50-50. And I got this standard reply saying, oh yeah, we're really sorry, we'll try and do more, and they didn't because they don't care. It's always going to be about the mum, and I can understand that, because mums are very important. My mum was always to me, I mean, but you have to give something back to the dads. It's just not fair.
really, it's just been talking to others who have already experienced it, and finding out that all the things that I'm going through, people have already gone through it, and various you know, the concerns or things. You feel like you're the first dad in the world when you're going through it for the first time, and then you talk to people and they're like, oh no, I know exactly what you mean, and then you hear of people who've gone through slightly worse scenarios, and it makes you feel a little bit better.
The abolishment of Iceland, I think. I don't mind frozen food, but Mum's always going there. Where's Dad going? You know.
Hugs you a lot? Do bike riding. Ride our bikes and everyone goes to the park. Playing golf. Cycling.
The same kind of. My mum's a bit more strict than my dad's.
And I think mums are much more likely to get part-time work, or at least reduce their hours in the area they're working in, whereas Brian would have probably struggled with getting part-time hours.
Because they don't give the dads maternity leave. So he was working night shift when I had these. I think that's why he didn't bond with them properly. On us more than on the men. Because it's like a turn issue. I've had to sign a form for our dad to be able to pick up, which I think was stupid.
when you see these adverts about babies and like Pampers adverts, it's always about mothers. And it's never about fathers. There's nothing for fathers. I don't even think there's really any support groups for fathers, you know, single parents, like for fathers, where the fathers are bringing up the children. I don't think there's anything like that.
Both of our roles are as important as each other's, so definitely I think he kind of left out a bit, really. I think the focus does seem to be more on the mothers rather than the dads, and it would be nice if that was balanced out a bit more and they were celebrated, because they're very important.